Alright, good morning everyone. So today I want to talk about simplifying fractions because when you're working in your workbooks, you're going to maybe notice that when you're adding and subtracting or multiplying your fractions, your answers don't match one of the four choices. So the reason they probably don't match is because you would need to simplify your answer. So we simplify using division. So you want to look at your numerator and your denominator. So here I have 3/6. To simplify, I want to think of a number that I can divide by 3 and by 6. So if I think about 3 and I think about 6, I want to think about all the factors. So I know the only numbers that multiply to get 3 are 1 times 3. And I can't use 1 because that's going to give me the same number, so I'm going to use 3. And then I think about 6. I have 1 times 6 and 2 times 3. Something that they both have in common is the 3. So I would divide the top and the bottom number, the numerator and the denominator, by 3. So I would get 3 divided by 3 equals 1, and 6 divided by 3 equals 2. My answer would be 1/2. And that makes sense because 3 is half of 6. So simplifying 3/6 to 1/2 is equivalent. Let's look at 8/12. So here I have 8 over 12. And I want to think about the common factors for 8 and for 12. So when I think about 8, I think of all the numbers I can multiply to get 8. 1 times 8 and 2 times 4. And then I want to think of the numbers I can get to multiply to get 12. So I have 1 times 12, 2 times 6, and 3 times 4. They both have a 2 in common and they both have a 4 in common. I'm going to go with the greatest common factor. I'm going to go with the biggest number. So they both have a 4. So I would divide the 8 by 4 and I would get 2, and I would divide the 12 by 4 and that would give me 3. So 2/3 would be the simplified equivalent of 8/12. Let's look at 45 and 63. Now these two numbers are a lot bigger. So they're not single digit numbers or a number less than 20. I have 45 and I have 63. This is where knowing your basic facts really comes in handy. So if I have 45, I need to think of all the numbers that I can multiply to get 45. And when they get bigger, I can start writing them out. So I have 1 times 45 equals 45. Doesn't go into 2. Will go into 3. So I can do 3 times 15, gets me 45. 4, nothing times 4 is 45. 5, I can do 5 times 9. 6, nothing times 6. 7 and 8, no, and then I'm back at 9, so I'm going to stop. And then I'm going to look at 63, and I'm going to think of all the numbers that I can multiply to get 63. So again, I can do 1 times 63. 2 is not going to work because 63 is an odd number, so I can't divide by 2 there. 3 times 21 is 63. Pardon my sloppy writing. 3 times 21. 4 is not going to work. 5 won't work because this ends in a 3. The only way I can divide by 5 is 0 or 5. So 5 is not going to work. 6 will not. 6 times. Nope. 7. 7 times 9. 8's not going to work, and then I'm back at 9. So then I look at my numbers. The biggest number they have in common is a 9. So my greatest common factor is 9. I can divide 45 by 9. And I can divide 63 by 9. And I would get 5/7. So 5/7 is the simplified version of 45 over 63. And now let's look at 7/12. So let's say you do your problem and you get a number. You get your fraction. And let's say it's 7/12 for this example. And you go through all of your facts and you realize that 7 is a prime number. The only thing that I can get to equal 7 is 1 times 7. Those are my only options. 1 times 7 is the only way to get 7. 7 is a prime number. But nothing times 7 is going to equal 12. That means I can't simplify it. And this is okay. Not all numbers, not all fractions need to be simplified, and that's okay. So as you're working out your problems in your book, if you notice that one of the 4 answers doesn't match, it may just be because it needs to be simplified.